Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to the FCS Prep Podcast, and today we are talking about invulnerability. That's right, we're going to teach you how to become invulnerable. Not bulletproof, so don't go running in front of cars or having people shoot bullets at you and stuff like that. Please don't do that. I'm not talking about physical invulnerability. That's impossible. I am talking about becoming emotionally invulnerable. And what do I mean by that? I'm not talking about becoming emotionally stunted or blunted or so hardened that you can't feel anything anymore. I'm talking about becoming emotionally invulnerable to those optional things that happen, others' thoughts, feelings, and opinions about us. Instead of letting that stuff affect us, we become immune to the effect that other people's thoughts, feelings, and actions have on us, right? And so where did I even come up with this thing from? So I was just thinking about this concept of like, okay, how do people do that? Because there are people out there that do not care about other people's opinions, thoughts, or feelings about them. They say what they want to say, they do what they want to do, they're living their authentic life, and they are truly happy. And I just thinking like, how is that possible? You know, and I started to think it's possible because they don't hold those people's opinions and values. They're not worried about that. Their view of themselves is what they're concerned about. How they think and how they feel and how they believe about themselves is what they're focused on. And truly, that is what guides us in the first place. It's not what other people think or say or do. It's how we perceive ourselves, what we believe about ourselves, what we think and what we feel about ourselves. That's what guides us. But if we continue to give that locus of control to others and base our entire lives based on what other people think or feel about us, we'll always be vulnerable and we'll never have control. And we'll always be at other people's whim. This thing, if I could say it like that, this vulnerability comes from a quest of acceptance. And on the other side of that, it's the fear of rejection. We become vulnerable because we're scared of speaking up. We're scared of being ourselves. We're scared of sharing our thoughts, feelings, and emotions because we're scared of rejection and we want to be accepted. That's what makes us vulnerable. Remember I was talked about the conditional love and we try to do anything and everything we can to get it to fulfill that business contract? That's what makes us vulnerable because we know if we say something that other people don't agree with or society doesn't agree with or just our family or friends, whoever they don't agree with, there's a possibility they may reject us. They may abandon us. They may ostracize us. They may call us all types of names and all types of this and that and everything like that and try to tear us down and slander us. We know that. Ultimately, what is all that to do? It's either to pressure you into being like them again, or it's to try to stomp you out because they can't stand seeing someone be themselves. They can't stand seeing someone stand up and be their authentic selves. Because you know what? The moment you start doing that, when I start doing that, they no longer have an excuse to kowtow to all of the societal demands and pressure that they have to feel and that they face, and all they giving in and all the business contracts they're trying to fulfill. They have to then realize that it is possible to break away from that. Their way of life doesn't have to be that way. How many times have people said, "Oh, that's just the way it is"? That's just the way it is. It's the same thing. Just put vulnerability in there. Yep, everyone's vulnerable. That's just the way it is. You got to go along to get along. Like, that is not how we are supposed to be living our lives. We are not supposed to be just going along just to get along. That is not how we're supposed to do it. We're supposed to be our authentic selves at all times. We're supposed to love ourselves at all times. That is true invulnerability. That is true invulnerability. Before we even hop into how do we become invulnerable, we first got to talk about how we became vulnerable in the first place. How did that happen in the first place? We became vulnerable because the way we learned growing up. That's right. From the time we were 0 to the time we were 7 or so, we had a certain way that we learned. And that was taking our cues from the outside world, taking our cues from other people. That means we're taking their thoughts, feelings, words, emotions, actions, we were taking all that stuff into consideration so we could understand how to operate in this world. And unfortunately, that doesn't turn off, not by itself. So I want you to think of something like this. You ever have a kid come up to you and tell you a joke, and it wasn't really that funny the first time they said it, but you laughed because you didn't want to hurt their feelings, and they thought you thought it was funny, so they come back and tell you the same joke the next day, then again, and you keep laughing because I really don't want to hurt this kid's feelings. But what are they doing? They're learning, oh, this joke gives me a positive reaction. Those positive reactions makes people like me. If I want more people to like me, I keep telling the joke. Kids will do that stuff all the time. That's how they learn. Then they do something wrong and they get a negative reaction. And guess what? They learn, oh, I can't do that. They speak up and share their mind. They get torn down and shut down. Ooh, I can't speak my mind. Now just imagine this compounded over 7, 8 years. And no one, when they get to age 7 or 8, no one says to them, all right, now listen, you got to start taking your cues internally. It has to be things that you like. You just speak your own mind. No, we continue to pound in them. You have to be how we say. You have to do what we say. Now, I'm not talking about, let me just put this thing out there. I'm not talking about letting kids do everything and anything they want to do. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is how they learn, how we learn to be vulnerable, because we learn that we have to do these certain things and check these certain boxes in order to be accepted. In order to be accepted, that means I can't share certain thoughts. I can't share certain feelings. I can't share certain ideas, especially if they go against the norm. But the quotes are on that. Norm. And we keep learning like that. 8 years old, 9, 10, teenager, adult. We keep learning like that. I have to be like everybody else. I have to do what everybody else does. Guys, that's not how we were designed to be. But yet that is the world says we must be. And it's only a select few that really kind of step outside the box. And then a lot of times they get just torn apart for it. But they give us hope that we don't have to be that way. And so that is how we become vulnerable. That's how we end up on this never-ending quest for what we think is unconditional love, but it's really conditional love. That's how we end up on that quest. That's how we start shutting ourselves down and putting our thoughts and feelings to the side and being scared to open up and scared to share, because a society was created to stymie us, to quiet us, to keep us from speaking up, to keep us from sharing who we really are. And so that is how that vulnerability is created. It's created in youth. And again, not that it's a bad thing. Kids need to have that structure when they're growing up. They need that structure. I understand. And when you have these kids taking good cues from good people, and part of those cues is how to love yourself and how to stand up and how to speak your mind and how to communicate and how to have social skills. Those are phenomenal things. They're well on their way to taking those internal cues instead of just waiting for the external cues. But unfortunately, most people don't have that. Most people don't have that. So a majority of people end up becoming vulnerable. And that's what we're here to free everybody from today. All right, that's what we're here for today. I have a couple of definitions. So invulnerable, what does it mean? Incapable of being wounded, hurt, or damaged. So in this term, right, and in these terms, and what we're talking about here, we're saying that others' thoughts, feelings, emotions, opinions about you will not damage you, will not hurt you, will not wound you. We're going to make you invulnerable. Quick story, all right? Quick story. I don't know if anyone ever seen 8 Mile with Eminem, but in that movie, there was a rap battle at the end. And spoiler alert, I'm going to give you, if you haven't seen it, it's going to be a spoiler alert. Turn it off and go watch it now if you're going to. If you're not, just hang with me, all right? So in the end, there's a rap battle between Eminem and the leader of this up-and-coming rap. It's the Falcon, actually, from the Marvel movies, from Avengers and all that stuff like that. But he's younger. And so in this rap battle, he takes all of his stuff, right? All the stuff that the other guy was going to use against him. His mom, his money, his girlfriend, his position, like all his stuff. He took everything and he used it in the rap battle. And he just shared all his stuff. He shared everything about it. He's like, hey, listen, I know everything you're going to say about me, so I'm going to say it first. And then when it came to the other guy's time to rap, the guy couldn't say anything. He was done. He was done. Right? He couldn't say a word. He ended up choking and he lost the rap battle and everything like that. In that moment, Eminem became invulnerable. What could anybody say against him? You call him a bum? He's like, yeah, okay. Okay, whatever. Oh, yeah, well, we slept with your girl. All right, cool. Your mom has got problems. Yeah, she does. Oh, you live in a trailer. Yep. Nothing they could do would work against him. And the guy knew it. The guy knew it. As a matter of fact, check this out. This just came to me. In that rap battle, Eminem started exposing the other guy's stuff. Because he was trying to be this hard rapper and everything like that. And, oh, yeah, I'm from the streets, blah, blah, blah. This man went to private school. Man had both of parents in his life. Like, he was not a thug at all. Because that guy was vulnerable. Eminem became invulnerable. So that guy was shook. He was done. What could he say? What could he do? He's been exposed. Oh, now everyone, they don't know. They know that I'm not really from the streets. They know that I'm not really hard. They know this. They know that. Oh, my gosh. Oh, I'm not going to be accepted by them anymore. His vulnerability was just all shown out there, and he was done. he was done. Because he was taking his cues from the outside world. Yeah, they think I'm hard. They think I'm in the streets. They think I'm this. They think I'm that. Yeah. He was taking all of his cues from the outside world. But when he got exposed, he couldn't fit in anymore. He didn't know who he was. He was living based off the opinions of others. Now others' opinions of him have changed. Now he doesn't know what to do with himself. Eminem became invincible. Because no matter what anybody said, he was himself, authentically, 100%. The other guy over here was not. Now you may say, Keith, that's a movie, man. That's a loosely based off of his life. Come on, man. That's good, but give me something else. Gotcha. Listen, I'm here for you. I am here for you. Real life, David Goggins, read his book, Can't Hurt Me. Seriously, no exaggeration. It is the second best book I've ever read in my entire life. It is second only to the Bible, and I put everything on that. That book is incredible. In that book, he became invulnerable. The title of the book is Can't Hurt Me. That's the title of the book. And go back to the definition. Being invulnerable is being incapable of being wounded, hurt, or damaged. And because he was able, if you read the book, I'm not even going to spoil anything from this book. You got to read it. He shares every single aspect of his life. Every embarrassing moment, every fail, everything, every fall, every mistake, everything. He literally became invulnerable. What can you say to him? What can you say to him? You can't say anything to him because he's like, I don't care. You already know the worst about me. Okay, it's out there. Okay, and I'm still moving on. I'm going to be me. I'm going to do me. I'm going to be me at all times. And that's real life. That is 100% real life. So if you thought the movie was not just a movie, this is man's real life. How he survived abuse from his father, how he survived Navy SEALs training, went through it 3 times, I'm gonna stop. I gotta stop. You just gotta read the book. Get the audio book too. The physical book is probably good. Get the audio book. There's more stuff in there. Promise you. But this man literally became invincible. They call him the toughest man on earth. Literally became invincible. All right, so let me talk to the next part, guys. Listen, invulnerability becomes when you're no longer scared to be vulnerable. That means you're no longer scared to be who you are, share what you think, share how you feel, regardless of what the consequences may be. Now, of course, I always say this, I'm not talking about being a jerk. I'm not talking about being nasty to people or anything like that. I never approve of that. I would never put my name behind that. What I'm talking about is we can be unapologetically who we are. That's what I'm saying. And once we can do that, we will become invulnerable. Once we can truly not care about what other people think, what they feel, what they say, how they act, if they reject us, if they accept us, once we get to that point, we have become invulnerable. And that will get some people so mad because they're so used to manipulating people and manipulating with their emotions and say, oh, I'm not going to be, what do the kids say? I'm not going to be your friend anymore. That's what kids say when they're younger. They already know how to do it. I'm not going to be your friend anymore. What would happen if we told, if as a kid, we said, well, kick rocks. Okay, cool. They're not going to do it with themselves. They're not going to know what to do with themselves. Now translate that 30, 40 years later when they're adults and they will be so upset, so mad. Oh, I'm the best person you ever had. You'll never have anyone like me. Blah, blah, blah. So on and so forth. Okay, can you please leave? Can we please keep it moving? Can we please keep it moving? That's when we become invulnerable. Now, guys, I'll be honest. Sometimes it might hurt. And it may not all happen all at once. You listen to this podcast and all of a sudden, boop, there you are. I can't snap both fingers. That's why I just do this one. But when you start putting these things into practice, and we're going to get to it in a second. I'm going to get to the first step in a second. I might just do the first 2 and make another podcast for the other 2 because this is just so power-packed. And I don't want to skimp on anything. Because this is crucial to the journey we've been on, learning about unconditional love, to self-love, to boundaries, to here we are now, right? It's crucial. It's crucial. Let's get into the steps. The first step in becoming invulnerable is to love yourself. Yes, self-love. I'm not going to go into full detail here because I have an entire podcast dedicated specifically to self-love and how to do that. But the first step is you've got to love yourself. You've got to challenge those negative core beliefs. The belief of being helpless, the belief not being worthy, the belief of feeling unlovable. You got to challenge those beliefs. Any belief that doesn't serve you, any belief that tears you down, any belief that has you thinking negative, you got to challenge that. That's the first step. You gotta fight that battle. You gotta love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself and everything about yourself, you can't go on to the other steps. So that's where you are right now. You're like, hey, I didn't even listen to that podcast. I don't love myself yet. Pause. Stop this right here. Go to the Self-Love Podcast. Learn how to love yourself. Drill that into your heart. Drill it into your spirit. Love yourself. Come back here. I'm going to jump to step 2. Now, step 2. You got to stop caring about the opinions, thoughts, feelings, and actions of others. That is step 2. And I can't just leave it right there, right? I got to give you something that's applicable. And if it looks like I'm reading some of the questions, because there are a lot of questions about to read off right now, I am. But like I said, I got to give it to you guys. I got to give you guys the real deal. And I want no mistakes when I'm giving you guys the real deal. Okay? So the first question you have to ask yourself in this quest to become invulnerable is, who is this person? Seriously, ask yourself, who is this person? Who are they? What are their credentials? What do they do? What is their life like? Are they perfect? Like, who is this person whose opinion I am now have to decide I should listen to or not? Who is this person? You got to answer that question. Is it just some random person on Twitter? Is it your parents? Is it your boss? Is it your spouse? Is it like, who is this person? Identify who that person is and what's so special about them that their opinion has so much heavy weight in your life. All right. That's the first question. The next question, what makes what they say more important than what you say? You can translate, you can switch out the word say. What makes what they think more important than what you think? What makes what they feel more important than what you feel? What makes what they do more important than what you do? Ask yourself this question. It's important to ask yourself this question. It actually goes into the next question, but on a very basic level, we're all people. We're all human beings. Put our pants and skirts and all of their clothes on the same way. So what makes them so much better than us that we now have to change what we think and feel and all this stuff like that to placate them? So that ties into this next question. Guys, I'm going to put all the questions in the description below. So if you're missing out on them, you need to get them, they'll be in the description below. So don't worry about trying to write them down right now. All right. So next question. What makes them inherently better than me on a human level? What I mean by that is, as just human beings, we all have 2 eyes, a nose, a mouth, teeth, bones, heart, lungs, stomach, all that stuff. Inherently, on a very basic level, we're not talking about skills, talents, or abilities or anything like that. We're talking on a very basic level. Strip all that away. What makes them better than me? What makes them so much better than me that I have to listen to them, that I have to adhere to them, that I have to kowtow to their demands, that I have to take their conditional love contract, that I have to do that? What makes them inherently better than me? Ask yourself that question. Next question. Why do I care so much about what others think about me? Ask yourself that question. If you love yourself, truly love yourself now, and you're not bound by those 3 negative beliefs, then ask yourself this question. Why is what they think about me so important? Why? Quick story. So as you can see, I got a haircut. But thanks, Dad, I have a balding spot in the back of my head. Same place my dad had it, right? 38 years old, got a bald spot, creeping up, try to do a little comb over thing in there, but it's there. And so at first I was like, oh man, what are people going to think? But then I was like, what are people going to think? Okay, what does it matter? What does it matter? I have a bald spot. Matter of fact, a student came over to me today as I was talking to another student, and she poked me in the top of the head. She's like, hey, you got bald? You're going bald right there. And I was like, yeah. Yeah, I am. It's that simple. That simple. So why do we care so much about what others think about us? Ask yourself that question. Why do we care so much? Why does what they think matter so much to us? Gotta answer that question. Next one. What power does others' thoughts have over me and my life? What I mean by this is, by them simply being at home, thinking, oh, I can't believe Keith had that bald spot. Oh man. Oh, can you believe he came to school like that? Wow, he got his hair cut and da-da-da-da-da. Guess what? What power does that have over my life? Seriously, what power does that have over my life? It only has, I'll say this, it only has the power that I give it. If I'm sitting here at home, oh my gosh, what if people think about my bald spot? What if they say this? What if they say that? What if they don't like me? I'm giving them that power. They may not be thinking about me at all. I don't think anybody's thinking about me, but I'm just, for the example, the person who's saying something negative or bad is probably not thinking about me at all. But I'm over here giving all this power and thought and energy and driving myself crazy and giving them all this power. So it's not even so much that their thoughts have power over us. It's that we give what they say the power over us. So you got to answer that question. What power do their thoughts have over you in your life? Ask yourself that question. Next question. What would happen if you stopped caring about other people's opinions? What would happen? Just think about it. I'm going to take time and think through that. If you stopped caring about what other people thought about you, what other people felt about you, what other people, anything, if you stopped caring, what would happen? Would some people leave? Some people would leave. Some people would absolutely leave. But is that your concern? Nope. Could you lose out on relationships? Yeah, you could. But again, that's their loss, not yours. Listen, you're becoming alive. You're becoming awake. You're becoming ascended. Like, you're becoming invulnerable. You don't have time to mess around with people who want to continue to be vulnerable, continue to be victims, continue to toe the party line and all that stuff. You can't be bound by that anymore. So if someone doesn't want to be around you because they just can't get with how you think and who you are and how you feel, then they don't deserve to be around you. I need you to believe that. I'm gonna say that one more time. If someone leaves you because you're being your authentic self, they don't deserve to be around you, period. They can go. They can leave. They don't want you at their job. Listen, there's someone else that would love to have someone like you at their job with a positive mindset and a positive attitude, who's being their authentic self, who's being an encouragement to those around them and not just willing to conform to what everybody thinks and says. So just you take that, you run with that, man. Run with that. If someone doesn't want to be in your life because you're being yourself, then they can go. And again, I'm not saying we should be jerks or nasty or anything like that, but what I am saying is that we need to be ourselves. And if someone doesn't like who we are, they can go. They don't deserve to be in our lives, period. They don't deserve to be in your life, period. I need you to believe that and receive that with all the power and energy that I'm giving to you with. Next question. If these people abandon and reject me, what's the worst situation I would be in? Consider that. Because for some of you, I'm be honest, I don't want to be irresponsible with my message. For some of you, you might get kicked out of your house, of your home, of your relationship. You might lose your job. It's quite possible. You might get kicked out of your church. It's very, very possible. You might get kicked out of your political party. I'm forewarning you right now. You might have different answers or some other additional answers, but for some, it's that extreme. Like, we're that bound. But again, guys, I go right back to what I said. If they don't want you, they don't deserve you, period. But think about that. If people abandon and reject me, what's the worst that could happen? Then answer these next sub-questions. Would I be able to survive without them? Has anyone ever experienced this before? And have they come back from it? I can guarantee you the answer to that one is yes and yes and yes and yes. There are plenty of people out there who are broken free from the shackles of conditional love and manipulation and are being their authentic selves right now, and they have survived and they have come back. Next sub-question, can I come back from it? And what can I do to come back from it? So you can plan all this stuff out. If you know, dang, I'm going to get kicked out of my house if I start doing this, then maybe you can start planning where you're going to live, who you're going to live with, what are you going to do? Like, you can start planning this out. But the idea is to snap off all these strings that people are trying to keep on us and just be our authentic selves. That's the goal. That's the journey. That's what we're trying to get to. And remember, this is all part of being invulnerable. All part of being invulnerable. Last question for this section is, what scares me about others that keeps me from speaking my mind? Identify what that is and attack it with the full ferocity and force of everything you have within you. Do not, I repeat, do not let any of those things keep you from being yourself. That is the path to freedom, the path to invulnerability. But you have to kill those fears. You got to kill those negative beliefs you have about yourself. You are loved, you are worthy, and you are a victor, not a victim. Kill those negative beliefs. Say it loud and say it proud. I am loved, I am worthy, and I am a victor, not a victim. Install those beliefs. So guys, we are literally at about 30 minutes, and I got 2 other sections to go into. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a part 2 of Invulnerability. I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. I'm literally going to turn this off. I'm going to record the next one. I'm going to upload them back to back because I don't want to leave you guys hanging. All right. Thank you so much for your patience. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys are powerful. Listen, after it's all said and done, you're going to be invulnerable. I'm so excited. Take care. I'm going to be back with y'all in a quick moment, guys. I love you. Y'all take care. We're improving the world by improving you. And hey, let's get it, man. I'm excited. Y'all take care.